First, always write down the formula so you can see it in front of you as you use it. The next thing we need to do is identify what a, b, and c equal. Looking at the equation, a is the coefficient of x squared, so in this case it equals 3. B is the coefficient of x, so b equals 8. And c is the constant, so c equals 5. The next thing to do, now that we know what a, b, and c are, is to substitute them into the formula. Anywhere you see an a in the formula, replace it with a 3. Next, we replace the b's with 8's. Notice the formula calls for negative b, so we now have a negative 8, and it also calls for a b squared, so we have 8 squared. Finally, replace the c with a 5. Now that we have all the proper values in place, all we need to do is simplify. First, let's simplify what's in the square root. 8 squared is 64, and 4 times 3 times 5 is 12 times 5, which equals 60. So we have the square root of 64 minus 60, which is the square root of 4. Also, notice in the denominator that 2 times 3 equaled 6. So now we have negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 4 all over 6. Now, the square root of 4 is 2, so we need to find negative 8 plus 2 over 6 and negative 8 minus 2 over 6. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6, but negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10. So now we have negative 6 over 6 or negative 10 over 6 as our two roots. If we reduce these values, we have our two roots. Negative 6 over 6 is negative 1, and negative 10 over 6 reduces to negative 5/3, or you could write it as negative 1 2/3.